Now it's time to ask one of the key players in the making of this project, and then followed by the book, and that's Mr. Roy Marchant. Roy was one of the people who was instrumental in getting the ceramic workshops happening, and he and Yuhana worked to create the program. Now, Roy is an artist, an art educator, a lecturer, and an art conservator, and a passionate advocate of lifelong learning. Roy has worked at ANU, the National Gallery of Australia, and at Casula Powerhouse Art Centre, where he was the producer of public programs in education and curator of the Kids Gallery from 2014 to 2019. It was Roy who worked with Yuhana to set up the ceramic workshops to explore telling personal stories through making tiles. And in October 2019, he included many of these tiles in an exhibition entitled 1120 Degrees, celebrating the role of ceramics at Casula Powerhouse. Roy has contributed an excellent essay on community arts to this book. Thank you, Roy.
Thank you very much for that very generous introduction. Good afternoon, everyone. I'd first like to pay my respects to the traditional owners of the land in which we are gathered. I'd like to acknowledge the Gadigal clan of the Eora Nation and pay my respects to the elders both past and present, and indeed all our elders who have helped and guided us to where we are today. I'd like to thank Yuhana for asking me to say a few words about the wonderful unfolding project that is 100 souls, 100 stories, 100 tiles, and indeed for asking me to write a short piece for it. For a number of years, I was very fortunate to be the producer of public programs at this institution, and very much at the top of my manifesto for public programming is engagement of individuals, families, groups and communities. And ever since meeting Yuhana, that is what we have collaborated on producing. Public programming is successful when it is both sensitive and responsive to the requirements of engagement, and specifically engagement with a community. This project is a testament not only to how successful that engagement can become, but also the vital role that such programming provides within the local community as a means of expression, identity and inclusion. Community engagement has a multitude of forms, but arguably community art in all its forms has the ability to be the most transformative. Like multicultural education, art is often used to shift or challenge people's understanding about a particular social group, issue or historical event. It makes visible issues facing these groups in our society. The universal language of art offers a more contemplative accessibility, a point of neutrality from which to commence understanding. Community art is a force that disarms the instruction of assimilation. So our journey began with the success of our regular weekly ceramic workshops in which you were immersed in a harmonious creative environment that encouraged discussion and social interaction as much as creative investigation. Yuhana, with the aid of his trusted colleague Nashmi, had this inherent ability to transform a situation and take it somewhere unexpected. So when Yuhana came to me in mid-2018 with a proposal for Shakenta, it made me less nervous about commissioning an untested, site-specific reed and clay building outside the entrance to this building as part of programming for the 65th Blake Prize for Religious and Spiritual Art. What could possibly go wrong? So some of the questions I got when I announced this, proposed this project, so, are these the plans? Has he actually done this before? When are you going to send me the material specs? These were just some of the ongoing questions that I attempted to answer. So while I stemmed the bureaucracy, Yuhana slowly crafted this masterwork over a period of 2 weeks, an installation that explored the 4 elements of life, earth, water, fire and air, with a concept of soul resurrection in relation to Mandaean heritage and religious practice. If you haven't seen this project, there's some amazing pictures in the book. Shekenta was successful at the point of engagement for the local Mandan community through their involvement with its construction and the public programs accompanying it, live music, talks, drawing and poetry. Shekenta very much provided the nucleus for the next project which we are celebrating here today. 100 Souls, 100 Stories, 100 Tiles accentuates the realisation of a community initiative, commenced by a group of Mandaean families expressing their desire to explore storytelling through a series of ceramic workshops. This is very much for me a project that acknowledges and reveals this community to a wider audience, a celebration of art making that contains a recognition of a journey to the present. Assembled together, the geometry of the completed tiles unites these visual stories of belonging, love, family values, connection, refugee experience, dreams, spirituality, poetry and cultural heritage. And also identity and hopes across the community. A community located and in many instances relocated in Liverpool, a Mandaean community. The outcomes of this project are as multi-layered as the project storytelling. It is a social investment in which art plays an integrated role in shaping the social, physical and economic characters of a community. The permanent installation of the work will be a transformative investment, a space becoming a place of identity, social currency, a gathering place within the architecture of exchange. Our earliest recorded human history is of communities gathered in the presence of art. This project is viscerally connected to the history of storytelling. Clay is an ancient material extracted from the earth, manipulated by hand and fired into permanence. This project continues the material's resonance to impart visual thinking, and the completed works has an uncanny resemblance to recently discovered artifacts. But is this work any less of an asset? This project is not simply the physical acquittal of an institutional investment. Community art is asset-based community development, achieved through social authorship and ownership. The community will visit this work, some by intent, others by accident, but interactions will occur with art becoming an investment in placemaking. I feel extremely privileged to have worked with Yuhana and the local Mandaean community to help produce this remarkable experience that is 100 Souls, 100 Stories, 100 Tiles, an experience that I recommend we all should share. Thank you very much.